Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name's Liz and this is Guided by Angels. And I wanted to jump on today and do a video about some tips and tricks and ideas and things you can do to make your journey as a twin flame run better, to help it to flow better. And not just as a twin flame, but as a light worker, as a spiritual being having a human experience, someone living on the earth plane. How can you make your life better, more positive? How can you be more in tune with your true self, connected with source, feeling okay with what happens to you, being more flexible and adaptable? How can you do you the best way? And that's what this video is about. So we're going to connect with 14 tips or 14 things that can help you to connect with your own self and feel better about your life on your journey as you move towards union and just as you wake up every day. So I've actually written down 14 things, and you might think 14 is a bit of a strange number, Liz. But I sat down this morning and really connected with this, and 14 things popped in my mind. And I was inspired to do this video this morning by the amazing Joan Collins. You know, I was just having a look around my YouTube feed, and a video popped up about Joan at 90, talking about her life and what's worked for her. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to think about what's worked for me so far on my journey. And, you know, I'm approaching 50. You know, as I record this video in real time, I'm 47 and 40 and fabulous. And it doesn't matter whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or heading into the hundreds. You are fabulous and you are exactly where you're meant to be. God created you in a magical way for your mission and purpose. So never forget that. Always remember your power and who you are. So let's talk about 14 things then that are going to help. So first of all, the thing that's really worked for me on my journey is connecting with the angels. Establishing a bond with something bigger than me. Okay, so connecting with the angels is powerful. When you connect with angels, you realize you're not alone, you have help, and you are always supported. When you walk side by side or hand in hand with angels, you can do anything in your life. A lot of the time we struggle because we're trying to do things by ourselves. We're trying to see things from a matrix perspective, with the mind, with logic, not with love, or with our third eye in spirituality. And when we wake up on our journey as a light worker, as a twin flame, when we start seeing things differently, we realise there's something much bigger that's going on. So we realise there's a bigger picture. We realise that there is a plan to our life. We realise that everything on our journey happens for soul growth and learning. And when we connect with angels, we know that we have that support. So we're able to then see the signs and receive the answers and feel power. You know, it's 50-50 with the angels and ourselves. We receive our support and our purpose and our perfection in a way from within and above, because we are divinely perfect just the way we are. We may not feel that way. We may feel like we are, you know, making mistakes a lot of the time, or we may feel that we want to change things about ourselves, but we are perfect in God's plan. And He made you that way for a reason. And you're also perfect for your twin, just the way you are. So when you connect with angels, you remember that. So the most important thing we can do, and this is why angels are really my number one tip here, establishing this bond, creating this bond, connecting, talking to heaven. Whether you do it out loud in your mind, through a song, writing it down, however you connect with angels, when you ask it is given. Remember, we all have free will. God created us that way so we can prove to Him that we have faith. We find our faith when we connect with God, the angels, the higher power, the universe. So it doesn't matter who you connect with up there, whether you're connecting directly with God, or you're connecting with the universe, or Father Sky, or Mother Earth, or the archangels, or your guardian angel. We may be connecting with Jesus or an ascended master that you connect with, or a loved one in heaven. What matters is that you establish that bond, because 50% is you and 50% is heaven, about how you get through your life. Because, you know, you could think, well, it's 100% heaven. You know, without heaven, I couldn't go on. And that's true. You know, for me, on my journey, the angels have saved me. They've helped me so many times through everything in my life. Establishing that bond with them has got me through things. But the angels also remind me, and I'm reminding you, to give ourselves credit for how far we've come on our journey, the things that we've achieved as light workers and, beings of love and light. Because if it wasn't for our strength within, we wouldn't find that motivation to reach out to heaven, to get up every day and do what we've come here to do. So it's 50% about connecting with self and 50% about connecting with source. And our connection with self and source is all we ever need. And you may think, well, as a twin flame, you want to connect with your twin. You want that bond with them. You want to establish that bond with them in the physical world. And you will. But when you establish that bond with yourself, you connect with them because they are part of you. And you realize that you are one with all. Everything that is, was, and ever will be. So anyone you love who's passed over in heaven, for example, lives inside of you, and you carry them with you wherever you go. In fact, the bond between you is more powerful now than ever because there's no ego, there's no restraints, no human restrictions, there's no body causing limitations. So you can take your loved one in heaven with you wherever you go, and they live on through you, and that's your power. So when you establish that bond with heaven, you realize that you are much more than this physical life. You're so much more than a physical being. You are source energy walking around having a human experience right now. But you will go on. You lived before and you will live again. You are eternal. You are infinite. And that makes you powerful. God created you in his image. That means that you are an I am energy. I am a creator. I am successful. I am in a wonderful, loving relationship. I am valuable. I am whatever and whoever I want to be. God created you that way. And he gave you the power to connect with source and him anytime you like. So establishing your bond with the angels is probably the most powerful thing you can ever do. Because when you do that, you realize you're not alone. You are supported. And there's always a bigger picture and a bigger plan. Now, something else that works for me constantly is positive thinking. And I've written on the back, look on the bright side because there's always a bigger picture. So we must always strive to find the positive in things because if we don't, we'll drive ourselves mad. We'll go a bit mad on this journey. So positive thinking brings in power, looking for the good in things, the good in people, the good in the situation. I always remember, and what's always drawn to my mind is, I remember years ago when I was on Facebook, I saw a picture of, it was a little kind of cartoony picture of two men on a bus going in the same direction. But one man was looking this way and one man was looking this way. And the man who was looking that way had a really negative look on his face because he was looking at a brick wall, or he's looking at the bus. We say bus in Stoke where I'm from, same place as Robbie Williams is from, the singer. But we were on this bus and, he's going in this direction and all he can see is the wall. So it's like they're driving around this kind of cliff energy. And you know what a cliff is like? One side you've got all the beautiful greenery of, the land, and it expands and you can see for miles. And then the other side you've got like the rocky, the rocky mountain, the cliff face, so that's all you can see. So he's looking that way and all he can see is a dead end. All he can see is a brick wall. All he can see is rock face. So he can't see a way out or a way forward, or he's trapped in his own negative mind. He's not seen past his own nose. Whereas the other guy going and remembering the same direction because the bus is travelling in one direction forwards, he's looking the other way. And he can see endless possibilities because he's looking out. He's looking beyond where he is. And he's seeing greenery and he's seeing, lands, far off lands, and he's seeing wonders and joy and magic. And he's got a smile on his face because he's optimistic. Which person are you today? Are you looking at what you have now, thinking that's it and that's all you're ever going to have? Or are you looking beyond that and thinking you can be, do and have whatever you're dreaming about? The world is your oyster. You can enjoy life in this moment now by feeling free and knowing that you are safe. So life is a choice. In fact, life is a series of choices, but you always have a choice how you feel and how you respond. We have a choice. Are we going to react to something that happens, or are we going to respond to something that happens? Are we going to react in a fear-based way, or are we going to respond in a loving way? We always have that choice. Just like we can always choose to look for the good in things, no matter how bad things seem to be. We can always choose happiness, no matter what's going on outside of ourselves. We always have that choice, and positive thinking is a big part of that, to look on the bright side. And when we connect with angels and establish that bond, the angels uplift our frequency and our vibration, so we're able to view things in a higher way, to become the observer of our journey. And when we observe things in that higher way, we realise that yes, there is a plan, there is a reason, and we are actually safe. And there's nothing to fear because we are surrounded by heaven. And whatever we're going through, we'll get through it because we have that protection. So positive thinking uplifts your vibration and brings in that calm thinking that brings in peace. Because peace is really everything. You know, if you could have one thing, let it be peace. Because peace leads to health, abundance, success, love, everything you want. When we're stressed out and angry and frustrated and impatient, it just brings more of that. So positive thinking will always turn things around. And a really great thing that's worked for me on my journey is to remember that everything that happens to us is happening for us, to grow us. And to remember that everything that actually happens is a neutral thing. It's the way we perceive it, the way we view it, the way we experience it that makes it good or bad, light or dark, negative or positive. And when you remember that, not only is it liberating, but it always allows you the opportunity and the choice to turn things around. So if you're looking at something in a negative way, start seeing it positively today. There's always a blessing in there, but some days you have to look a bit closer for it. So positive thinking is the key. And this is something we have to work on. We're not born thinking positive because we have an ego. The ego of the human psyche edges all the goodness out. It comes up as a warning system. It tries to make us aware of scary things so we don't fall flat on our face or make mistakes. But what we learn on this journey is there is no mistakes at all because everything grows us. Mistakes are merely lessons in disguise, and lessons lead to blessings. You know, things that we don't like are actually blessings in disguise too, because it makes us stronger. It helps us to go within for answers and gain clarity and observe in this higher way. So we have to choose every day to have positive thinking, to choose to see the good. Even when we go through bad things like grief and loss and pain, we can look for the positive in it and think, what is this showing me? So a really great thing to do, if you're thinking, well, I don't know how to be more positive today when something bad is going on, is look for the lesson there as the observer and say, okay, this is happening to me right now. I'm aware of what it is. I'm feeling it. I'm going through it. But what am I learning from it right now? How is this benefiting me in some way? What am I going through? So you can look at the situation first and think, okay, this is what I'm going through and experiencing right now. What is it showing me? Isn't this interesting that this is showing me a part of myself that I need to heal? Because it's opening up a wound for a reason, because when the wound opens, as Rumi said, the light can go in. So we can then access our deepest, darkest wounds and lessons and experiences and heal them. And we can say, okay, this is interesting because it's making me stronger. It's helping me to respond instead of react. It's helping me to work on self-love and self-worth and to give back to myself. So positive thinking is the key. So no matter what you're going through, remember there's always a bigger picture. There's always a plan. So try and see it in a higher way. And also the way we get through this is by breathing. Breathing. Now we're taught to breathe because we are guided to through meditation. Breathing brings us back into the moment. It allows us to center ourselves and feel at peace. And when we breathe, we come back into the moment and we're able to view things in a higher way, to calm down. And they're giving me a block. So, if you're going through this right now because maybe you've got a block in communication with your twin, or you're in separation, or maybe you're going through something at work, or you're going through some form of challenge, or maybe something's going on in your physical self. Take a moment to stop what you're doing and breathe. 3 deep breaths in and out is enough to bring you back to your center, to help you to focus again, to be at peace. Because when we're stressing out, when we're anxious, we're either worrying about the past or we're stressing over the future. We're not allowing ourselves to be in the now. When we stress out about the past, we go over it. If only I'd done this differently, if only that had happened, if only. And it drives us mad. We can be stuck in an endless cycle. Or we stress over the future. What if this happens, or what if this doesn't happen? What if? And we drive ourselves mad in that way. But by coming back into the present moment, we breathe and we release. So breathing in through the nose and releasing through the mouth, and breathing in love and exhaling fear. And doing that 3 times is enough to center ourselves. We calm down, we feel an energy shift. It's like we drown out all the noise of the world in our minds and we find peace again. So breathing is so important. And obviously breathing is why we're alive. If we don't breathe, we stop breathing, we die. So breathing also reminds you you're alive, breathing in life, realizing you're here to live, to experience life, to thrive, not just to live. Eat, sleep, repeat. That's not what life's about. It's about enjoyment, adventure, embracing the moment, seizing the moment, being in the now. And when we breathe, we're able to breathe in life force, to breathe in this life and remember why we've come. So every day when you wake up, breathe in life and say, thank you, Lord, thank you, God, thank you, universe, heaven, whoever you connect with, whoever you establish your bond with. Thank you for another day. I'm so grateful I'm here. I'm so grateful I can experience this day the way I'm meant to. And I can breathe through the challenges and think positively and see things in a higher way. So whatever challenges you or triggers you, take 3 deep breaths in and out, and that will bring you back to your center and bring you back to peace. And that's how you be in the now. It's so important in this life that we live in the moment. Then that's how we bring in balance. We're more balanced in the present moment because we're allowing ourselves to breathe. And when we feel more in the moment, our chakra system, our body, from the top of our head, our crown, but it goes beyond that, above that, to the tips of our toes, from our earth and our roots down. It feels strong. You feel connected with everything above you and below you because you won. So when you're more in the now, you are safe. Now backwards spells 1. NOW spells 1. So when you're operating in the now, you've won because the ego can't get in there. The ego is sometimes a little bit like the devil. Whether if you're religious, you will believe in the devil, and the devil can tempt you and cause you problems. But really the devil is the ego trying to edge all that goodness out, to bring up that fear. So you're on dead alert and you're being cautious about things. But life is about living and taking risks and experiencing things and enjoying everything, the good and the bad. Remember, it's all about your perception. Are you seeing it in a positive way or a negative way? When you're thinking negatively, you're more inclined to be in the past or the future because you're stressing over the future and you're worrying about the past and you're not being at ease in the now. When you're positive thinking and you're the observer, you're more aware of the now and you're okay. And that whatever's happening, it will be okay. As Jesus said, ask and it will be given. So when you're in the moment, if you're struggling with anything, you always have the power to give it to God. And you do that through prayer, by asking, by remembering you're not alone, that you always have help. And, that's the next one. You always have help. So don't give up because you always have help. So whatever you're struggling with, you always have help. You always have that connection with heaven. Even when you're losing faith and you're not believing and you're going through struggles, that connection never goes away. A lot of the times we are stressing and we are struggling because we think we're alone, and we're struggling. And they're giving me an itchy neck, which is connected with changes. feeling like nothing's ever going to change, feeling like you want change but you don't know how to get it, or you were thinking about how someone else is going to change, or trying to make the change. And the more in the moment we are, the more in the flow of things we are, the more we trust the process, the more we give it to God, the more we have faith. So when we know we always have help, we're able to ask for that help and support, and we have free will, so we're able to find our faith. So when you go through struggles, call on the angels. They will bring in solutions, they will bring in signs, they will help you to see you're not alone. And they'll remind you to not give up, to keep going, because you've come here for a reason. As a soul, we queue to come to earth because we want to learn, we want to grow, we want to go through a soul experience in a physical body. We plead and beg the higher power to allow us to be born into a life body. But we forget that in the journey in the womb. When we are born, we forget everything we knew before, so we can relearn it and re-establish that bond with God and have faith and trust in the bigger picture and become more positive and focus in the now and do all these things that we're guided to do. So we don't operate in fear-based energies such as the 7 deadly sins that brings up greed and lust and envy and all these things. Instead, we operate in the fruit of the Spirit because we become faithful. We become, in a way, good servants because we work on service, but we become compassionate and loving and gentle and generous and kind and patient. So we release the impatience to become patient. We realize what all these things actually mean. So we become a light worker, a servant of heaven to share the light with the world and help other people who may be struggling or in darkness or going through the ego to find the light. And that's our journey as a twin flame too, because we establish that bond with heaven. And when we're operating in the light, that's all we need. We connect with source, and our twin is guided to us from our light. We're the light in their life. So you always have help, you're not alone. So don't ever give up because you have support. Even when you feel lonely or you feel like there's no one there, you are surrounded by an army of angels, and your guardian angel is right by your side. Another great thing that's worked for me is don't deprive yourself. Do what you like in moderation. In other words, things like diets never work because you feel like you're lacking something. What I found on my journey through the years is saving money doesn't work either, because I feel like I'm depriving myself of something, because I feel there's a lack, because I'm always striving to budget. I always remember years ago, I had one of those money jars. They sell them in card shops where they say a fund for shopaholics or a fund for a rainy day or, whatever they do. And you put money in there. And I remember at the time, and this was really my first look at savings and how it doesn't work for me. It may work for you, it doesn't work for me. I prefer to have a flow of abundance, a flow of money, because what you give, you also receive. So if you find you're squandering money or you're saving money, you're always struggling with it. And I found that out the hard way when I was saving money years ago. In my 20s, I had one of those tubs and I was putting £2 coins in. So I was constantly thinking about £2 coins because I was thinking I want to put £2 coins in my jar, or when I was going in a shop, and this is before we used card payments, I was receiving cash money, and I'd look in my change and I'd find, I've got £2 coins, put them into my jar, and then I found all I was actually manifesting was £2 coins because I was focused on that and I never had any money. So I ended up having to smash that jar and take all those £2 coins to the bank to have money. So since then, I've realised that the more I try and save money, the less money I have. So instead of saving money, I work on manifesting money by being in the flow of it, by visualising what I desire and not feeling deprived. So for example, when you're manifesting money, you have a abundant mindset. So you go in a shop and you think, I want that, I'm going to buy it. Obviously, you have to be in moderation. Don't overdo things and think, I'm going to buy that, but that's going to mess everything up. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, all these things. Remember, you say, okay, I'm going to deliver things to me. A delivery just like a van just pulled up over the road, deliveries. So when we give, we receive. So when we're in that mindset, we start visualizing having more. And when we visualize we're having more, we create more and we manifest more. So we don't feel in the energy of lack. And this is the same with anything you're doing. So if you're on a diet, for example, and you're stopping yourself from eating certain things, or you love having maybe a piece of chocolate, but you stop yourself from doing that, you're going to feel deprived, and it's going to affect you in a detrimental way. It's going to hurt you because you're feeling, I'm missing this, I'm lacking this, I can't have this. So we go into negative vibration. Whereas if you do things in moderation, if you like chocolate, a little piece won't hurt. No matter what people say, do things that you enjoy in moderation. You are an intelligent being. You know when you've had enough of something, and you know when you haven't got enough of something. So be good to yourself, be kind to yourself. Don't deprive yourself. Eat what you want to eat, do what you want to do, but listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and trust what you feel, because that's always real. And that's always worked for me. I remember back in the day, when I was, obviously I'm my perfect weight now, my ideal weight. And I don't care if people think I'm too thin or too big, I'm the perfect weight for me. And the way I embraced my perfect weight was because I stopped trying to. I stopped trying to diet. I stopped trying to look good. I stopped trying to be someone else. I just embraced completely who I am. And that weight that I was carrying around, because, at the time, I'm going back to, when I was in my 20s, I was carrying around weight. And, now I'm kind of a size 10. I'm actually a size 10 to 12 in UK sizing, even though it doesn't look that way, maybe, because I'm going through perimenopause. So obviously when you're going through, kind of things with hormones, your weight may fluctuate. And as an older lady, in midlife, that this is what you go through. You may find one day you look good in your clothes, one day it may be a little bit tighter. And you know what? That's okay. But going back to my 20s, I was always kind of a size 12, and I always felt like I needed to be less. And I was looking at others, especially my sister, because my sister's 8 years older than me. And she always had the perfect figure when I was growing up, and I wanted to be like her, And I was always striving to diet and be different. And, when I realised, when I went through my awakening, my big spiritual awakening happened at 30. I realised I don't have to try and be like anyone else, embrace me. And once I did that and I started loving me and giving back to myself and doing what I wanted to do and listening to my own intuition, the weight that I was carrying around fell off. So if you find right now that you're carrying excess weight, it may be that you're trying to diet, or, you feel something's lacking, or maybe you don't feel warm or safe right now, so you need to work on self-love. And the more you do that, the more you love yourself, the more you value yourself, the more you respect yourself, the more you become your ideal self. The person you've always really wanted to be will just magically appear in the mirror, and you'll be like, wow, that's me. So say to yourself today, look in the mirror and do the Ho'oponopono prayer and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So you're saying sorry for all the things you've done where you've deprived yourself of things. Or maybe when you've overdone things. When I quit smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol when I was 30 and I'm 47 now, 17 years ago, I apologised. I apologised to my liver, to my lungs, and it may sound weird, but I felt my body shift in that moment. And I didn't go through any side effects from stopping doing those things. So when we love our body, we're loving ourselves, and we are appreciating ourselves, and that gives thanks to God for our creation. So look in the mirror today and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you. And say sorry for the things that you do to yourself that deprive you of happiness, robbing you of your happiness. Whenever you feel you're deprived of something, it could be your twin. You may be thinking, I'm deprived of my twin. You rob yourself, you strip yourself of joy and happiness. So give that back to yourself by remembering that you and your twin flame are one, and that you can feel them and connect with them anytime when you close your eyes and breathe. So this is a big message, don't deprive yourself, do you your way. And another big one that's worked for me, and I've really embraced this over the last year, because we have to learn and go through things. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing, and so is society and evolution and technology and all of these things. When I was in my 18, 19, 20, 21, we didn't have mobile phones. So we couldn't be on our phone all the time, taking selfies and videoing each other and doing all these things. I was 21 when I got my first phone. And obviously now in this new day and age, it's all different. Children now have phones and it's a natural thing. But the real thing that's worked for me over the last year is stopping using filters. Oh my goodness me, this was life-changing for me. Because, I used to be on Snapchat and I'm not on any other social media platform apart from TikTok and YouTube. And, obviously now I've got my other channel as well, Wigs with Liz, and I wear wigs. And the reason why is I've gone natural today to show you there's nothing wrong with my hair. I just embrace wigs now. I love the feel of them, being able to be blonde if I want to, without having to dye my hair, being able to change my style, without having to worry about having my hair done, throwing my wig on. And I'm growing my hair back natural, and I'm proud of it, that it's going grey, and I don't care because I'm in midlife and I'm embracing who I am. And my hair right now, because I cut it all off and I'm growing it back naturally, is in the best condition of its life. But I also want to wear wigs. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like you may want to wear a hat every now and again, or you may want to wear a certain top or a pair of shoes. It's the same thing. I see wigs as accessorizing, wearing nice earrings or nice jewelry. Same thing. Different than using filters. Filters rob you of your confidence and strip you of your light. Why? Because it makes you into someone else. And I remember, when I was using Snapchat, and I haven't been on Snapchat for a long time now, I wouldn't have a photo taken without a filter on because I got used to the way it made me feel. It made me feel flawless. And guess what? We aren't. We aren't flawless because we are human. We all have imperfections, but we are perfectly made in God's image. So we are perfect the way they are. So if you're using filters all the time to increase your confidence, or if you're using filters, you'll find that when there isn't a filter on, you feel like you look ill, or you look drained, or you look tired. Every now and again, you might get a good photo of you without a filter on, but you feel like there's something wrong. And guess what? There's nothing wrong. But because your brain has got used to seeing you with a filter on, anything else looks wrong. So you're looking at yourself through a distorted version of you. And when I stopped using Snapchat and I stopped using filters, it just boosted my confidence, because now I'm like, I'll just take a photo anyway. I don't care. If people say, let's take another one because I don't look right in that one, I just think, well, take as many as you want of me. I don't care. I don't care whether I'm smiling, got my teeth sticking out. I don't care if my tongue's sticking out. I don't care if I'm pulling a funny face or I look weird, because that's natural in that moment. That's who I am. And I don't have to take 20 photos to get the right photo. I just take one and that's it. Remember the days where I wanted to get the right picture for Snapchat story, or to go on Insta, well, not Insta, I was on Instagram, but not for long, to go on Twitter, or, getting the right pose, retaking it, taking it. And remember, that's why social media can be so misleading. Don't ever get triggered by social media, because it may have taken 20 times for that person to get the right picture or the right image to share, looking like everything's wonderful in their life. Guess what? Embrace life now, and it will feel wonderful in this moment. You don't need a filter to feel that way. So when you stop using filters, it's going to boost your confidence, and it's going to make you feel better, and you're going to be happy with who you are, because that's who you are. You were born that way for a reason. You are magical and special and magical and wonderful. And you are beautiful and handsome and amazing. You don't need a filter to try and look like someone else or something else or be anyone else, because you are you. So, I will never use filters again for that reason. And also, when you stop using filters, you're okay with being you, being on camera, being off camera, being yourself, just being you, because that's who you are. So stop using filters. It will do wonders for your self-esteem. And remember, your twin flame loves you for who you are, not like who you look like with a filter on. And do you your way. Who cares what people think? And, this is really another thing about not using filters, not, listening to other people. Do your life your way. Do you your way. Wear what you want to wear. Go where you want to go. Do what you want to do. Love who you want to love. Live life your way. Who cares what people think? When we stop taking things personally, and that's another one, Don't take things personally. When we stop taking things personally, we realise it's never about you. It's never about us. So, for example, if someone shouts at you, they're not actually shouting at you. They're projecting onto you something that's going on within themselves. Remember the saying, hurt people hurt people. So when you're frustrated and you take that frustration out on someone, you're not actually frustrated with that person. Even if it may seem that way, you're actually frustrated with yourself about something that's going on. So remember, everything you go through, you're growing from. It's an opportunity to observe and think, why is this triggering me? Why is this affecting me? Why am I bothered by what people think? Why am I taking things personally? A lot of the time when our masculine is being nasty or lashing out or saying things that are hurtful to you, they're angry at themselves. They're giving me fear, burpee energy, they're in fear themselves. And they are taking it out on you because you're their mirror. And you're their light and you're that muse and you're living your life your way, doing you your way. And they may be a bit envious of that because they want that too. So they can take that out on you. So don't take things personally because things are not always what they seem. See it in a higher way and do you your way. Do things your way, unfiltered, because that's the power of who you are. And focus on joy. You know, the way we focus on joy is by being grateful. Gratitude will change your life. There's a book that I read years ago called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, the same lady who brought out The Secret. And the magic, in my opinion, is way more powerful than The Secret because it helps you to remember the power of gratitude. And you've always known this within, but we always forget because life gets in the way. Life gets in the way. And a lot of the time we're so busy in our own head. We aren't seeing the bigger picture because we're in our own head. We can't see past the end of our nose because we're in our own head. So we have to breathe because that brings us back into the now, and then we're able to observe and see things in a higher way. And understand that when we're focused on joy, when we're being grateful, when we're saying thank you, not cheers or tar or thanks, when we're saying thank you, it creates power. It invokes the law of attraction and the law of gratitude. It helps you to feel good. So when you're focusing on the things in your life to be grateful for, the fact that you're watching this video, the fact that you've got internet to watch this video, the fact that you've got a device to connect to the internet with, the fact that you've got a roof over your head, the fact that you're wearing clothes and you can breathe, the fact that you are in a body right now and you can see through these eyes and feel with these hands and connect with your higher self. All of these things are things to be grateful for. The reason you have something to drink and something to eat. You know, the basic things, but also the things we enjoy. The fact that you are a twin flame and a light worker. The fact that you may be looking out on a nice garden and you can go outside and connect with the earth. All these things are things to be grateful for. And when we focus on joy, our mind expands and then we're given preview. So the more we focus on blessings, the more able we are to manifest the things we want. So we start looking for the good, we're more in that good vibration, and the more good comes in. And then we're more positive, so we realise, wow, we can attract things in. We can ask for what we want, we can manifest. And then the universe starts showing us previews of all of that. So we start seeing the good things everywhere. We start seeing the things we're asking for. And instead of getting triggered and thinking, why haven't I got it now? Or being envious, we start being elated and thinking, wow, I want to be like that couple holding hands. I can be that couple holding hands. I can receive that marriage proposal. I can have that opportunity. I can be successful. I can be me. And when we're operating in that energy, we get blessed with more because gratitude creates more. It's the power of 3 times 3 times 3. The more grateful we are, the more we have. So when we focus on joy, when we focus on bliss, the doors open. You know, there's a saying in The Secret by some guru saying, when you focus on bliss, the universe will open doors where there are only walls. So if all you can see is walls, like that guy on that bus, looking at the walls, when you start looking for bliss and joy and you change your perspective, all you got to do is look the other way and you would see the beautiful greenery and the scenery and the wonders of the world. When you change your perception from negative to positive, from darkness into light, you realise how amazing life can be. And it all is in moderation and it's all in balance. It's all about yin and yang, masculine and feminine, light and dark. Without the darkness, we wouldn't appreciate the light. Very powerful. So there's a purpose and a reason for everything. Everything in your life has substance and value, but you have to see it that way. And remember, you're going to go through the valleys of life, the dark times, because we've come here to grow. If life was smooth and there was no growth, what would be the point? You wouldn't queue up to come. As they say, a calm sea does not create a skilled sailor. What creates a skilled sailor is those storms and those waves and the things they have to navigate around. And you will navigate around your journey. So your life won't get easier, but you will get better at handling it. And then it will feel easier to you. Isn't that powerful? And take time for yourself, because self-care is so important. So important sometimes you learn to recognize when you need a break, or when you need time for you, or you need time out, or you need to unplug from society. Turn off your phone, turn off the internet, go outdoors in nature. It's so important, when you need a break from work, or you need a holiday or a day off. It's so important that you say no to people sometimes so you can say yes to you. It's so important you do you. And I know someone watching will probably think, well, Liz, your channel's daily. You don't ever take any time for yourself. Of course I do. I pre-record videos and I create time for me my way. So we do things our way. Do what works for you. Some people are going to want a 3-week vacation. Some people are going to want a 2-minute breath work meditation. It's whatever works for you. Do you your way and take time for yourself. Make sure you give that to yourself, because life can be so stressful. And we can take life so seriously when we're constantly working and striving and trying. And it's all about flow. And sometimes you just need to get that perspective back to give back to you. So self-care is so important. When you start being good to you, giving yourself what you need, maybe a bit more sleep, water, food, fun, relaxation, doing things your way, then you start valuing yourself more, you start loving yourself more. And guess what? Those are the qualities and traits you attract in from other people. And, also to take time for yourself, take off your bra. And obviously I know there's going to be guys watching this too. What I mean by this is relax. Relax, ladies, you know what it's like. You take off your bra, oh, you feel easy. For me, I've got a false tooth here, and I'm not bothered about that at all. I wear a plate because it's just, it's easier to talk. It's easier to, I wouldn't say chew because I take it out to chew, but it's easy, and it's also because I feel better with it in. But as soon as I've, done my day's work, I take it out, like I take off my bra. I don't wear my false tooth all the time. George has seen me without it many times because I don't wear it when I'm off work or when I'm chilling out, because I want it out so I can eat and chill and relax. So just like that comes out, we feel better. It's like when you've been wearing a pair of high stiletto shoes and you take them off. Oh, it feels better. Guys, I don't know what it is for you. You let me know in the comment section. But when you take something off, or, you relax, you take a load off, you feel better. So taking this, your bra off is also like taking a load off. Take a load off. Feel better. Relax. And that's what I've put on the back, Oh no, I haven't wrote anything on the back, but I'll write it on the back. Relax. Do what makes you feel good. If you want to wear no makeup, wear no makeup. If you want to wear makeup, wear makeup. If you want to, relax in your pajamas, do that. Do what makes you feel good. And always bless the past, because it's made you who you are today. It's made you stronger. Bless your past to embrace your future and living in the now. So bless the past. Don't look back with anger or thinking if only I'd made another decision, if only I'd done this, because it'll rob you of your happiness in the now. Bless the past and say it's gone, it can't be changed. I'm going to accept it and bless it because it's made me who I am. It's made me strong, it's made me powerful. It's tapped me in with my true self. And remember, everything you're doing now is a residual memory of the past. So if you're not enjoying the life you're living right now, remember, it's only something you've created before. You have the power now in this moment to change your future by what you do now. So you always have the power to bring about powerful change. So bless the past and be in the now. Forgive. That's why forgiveness is so important. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Wayne Dyer said, he's passed now, but he said, if you're not forgiving people, If you're not forgiving yourself, if you're not forgiving the past, you're holding a deadly hot coal in your hands. And that hot coal is only burning you. It's not burning the person you are in resentment towards. It's not affecting anyone else. It's affecting your life. And that's why your words as well have the power to harm or heal. But also they harm or heal your own life. If you're being negative towards someone else or saying nasty things towards someone else, you're going to attract that into your life. So it's going to hurt you. If you're feeling beautiful and blessed and grateful and you're sharing that with others, that's also going to bless you, because you get blessed with what you give. You give and you receive. What you give out, you get back. So think about that. If you're giving out goodness and love and generosity and kindness, you're going to get that back. You may think, I'm not going to be that way because it makes me vulnerable. It makes me weak. But guess what? It's a strength. It's a power. It's your superpower. If you're being negative and nasty, you're going to get that back. So be kind and loving and gentle. Be good. And remember, it's okay to have different opinions than people. You just have to do things your way and not try and fight to make people understand or recognize why you're a twin. Your actions will speak for themselves. Your light speaks for itself. Your kindness and your joy and your love and your positive thinking speaks for itself. So when you're holding on to pain and resentment and you're not forgiving, that hot coal is burning deeper and deeper into your hand. It's going into your bloodstream. It's creating toxins. And those things eventually cause illness and dis-ease, such as cancer and other things. If you want to be healthy and well, you operate in power, because then your mind is filled with ease. And a body can't be dis-eased if a mind is at ease. So remember, put that hot coal down. Forgive today. Be at ease. Let things go. Let things wash over you. Remember, you always have help. You are not alone. Because the answer to all of the questions and the reason you come is love. To be love. To love others. To be kind. To focus on love. To see love in everything. To enjoy love. To enjoy romantic love. But also to enjoy friendship and, platonic love, companionship. Love with animals, plants, nature. Just feeling the energy of love, because love is who you are. And love is why you're here. And Jesus will help you to embody the power of unconditional love and walk in that power. So everything you do, there's a choice. Are you going to operate in love or fear? Or are you going to choose love or fear? Are you going to respond in love or fear? You always have a choice. So focus on that today and uplift your vibration and change your life. So I hope these tips have helped you today. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.